$12,000 is just enough. Several new credit card accounts, $1,000 house down payment. Looking at that amount kind of makes me, I'm not planning on dying anytime soon, is a delusional, silly, fun stretch goal. Hi, my name is Mia. Welcome to Scrubs and Savings. I'm a 22-year-old new grad nurse documenting how I'm living intentionally, spending joyfully, and giving generously. And today I'm going to talk about the 7 financial goals that I want to hit by the time I'm 30 years old. My first goal is to have an emergency fund based on 3 months of my net income. So my bi-weekly take-home pay is about $2,096 after taxes. So a 3-month emergency fund would be 6 times that amount, or about $12,000. And the plan for that money is for it to just sit in a high-yield savings account and hope to goodness gracious that I'll never have to touch it. Now, I know a lot of financial experts recommend having up to 6 months worth of income saved. However, I'm pretty comfortable only having 3 months of income saved, as I don't have a mortgage or kids depending on me. And even if I were to lose my job, I'm pretty confident that I could be able to find another one pretty quickly because nurses are always needed. But of course, once I own a home and have kids, I'm definitely going to increase this fund by a significant amount. But for right now, I think $12,000 is just enough to give me financial security and peace of mind, but also not having too much money in cash when it could be making more money in investments. I currently have $8,820 saved in my emergency fund, and my goal is to have that fully funded by the time I move out in spring of 2026. In general, to help me achieve a lot of my financial and savings goals, I transfer $1,399 from my checking account to my Ally High Yield Savings account, and $397.50 of that is specifically for my emergency fund. And to keep track of my progress towards this goal, I use the budgeting software YNAB, which really helps me stay on track with all of my financial goals. Having this emergency fund is my main focus right now because it gives me a safety net and allows me to pursue more aggressive goals like investing as much as I can into my retirement account, and also saving for my home down payment in a non-traditional way, which we will talk about. My second goal is to have a credit score above 800. I want to have excellent credit, mainly to get very good interest rates on loans specifically for a mortgage, but having a good credit score will also give me some financial credibility when I start renting. Now, my credit score is already at 805, so this goal is not necessarily just me building my credit, but mainly just to maintain my credit score where it's at. So to keep my credit score as high as it is, I need to take into the factors that affect my credit score. So the first factor that makes up your credit score is payment history. Banks want to make sure that their borrowers are able to make their loan payments on time. And to make sure that I have a good payment history, all of my credit cards are on auto pay. The second factor that affects credit scores is credit utilization, or the percentage of your credit limit that you use on a rotating basis. So for example, if I had a $10,000 credit limit, if I had $3,000 on my credit card, that would be 30% of my credit utilization. A common rule is to keep it under 30%, but of course, if you want to optimize it, you can spend less. So to achieve this, I either have to not spend a lot on my credit cards or open more accounts to increase my credit limit. So what makes this pretty easy for me to achieve is that I have a pretty high credit limit in comparison to how much I spend each month. The third factor that affects one's credit score is, which makes up about 15% of one's credit score. So for me, even though I don't particularly like being an authorized user on one of my parents' credit cards, I'm definitely going to stay an authorized user on that card because it increases my average account age. And lastly, one's credit mix percentage or the types of credit accounts one has, and new credit are about 20% of one's credit score. I'm definitely going to link a more in-depth video about credit scores, but I'm definitely going to make sure that I take into account all of these factors whenever I'm going to apply for a loan or rent a new place. And to keep track of this, about every few months I check in on my credit score using Experian or MyFICO. Now, here's where I'm going to sound a little hypocritical, because even though I said that I want to keep my credit score above 800, I definitely do want to take advantage of credit card rewards, which will require me to open up several new credit card accounts, which will decrease my account age and also affect the new credit part of my credit score. But I'm okay with doing this for right now because I don't plan on getting a loan anytime soon. And honestly, the travel rewards and sign-up bonuses are really too good to pass up while I'm young and prioritizing travel. But once I'm in the market for purchasing a home, I'm going to stop opening up accounts and let my credit score increase from there. My third goal is to have $50,000 saved for my portion of a $100,000 house down payment. So that would be about 20% down on a $500,000 home. Now, like I said before, I'm not in any rush to purchase a home, probably in the next 8 to 15 years. So I'm definitely going about this in a non-traditional way. So as of today, I have $81.81 saved for my house down payment. So I definitely have a long way to go, but saving for a home is not my priority right now. So any dollar saved is a good dollar saved. But the thing is, saving for a home is not my priority right now. So I'm okay with being a little lackadaisical in how I'm going to save for one in my early 20s. So for right now, my strategy is really just to save whatever I have left over each month and put it in my down payment fund. And I'm also planning to throw a chunk of any windfalls that I get in the next 8 years towards my down payment fund, like tax refunds, bonuses, side hustle money, and any cash gifts I receive. And I'm going about saving for a down payment fund in a untraditional way. Since I have such a long time horizon, I'm investing my down payment fund into a brokerage account. I've been investing my down payment fund into VOO, which tracks the S&P 500, and with this long time horizon, I should be able to ride out any market volatility. But once I get actually closer to buying a home, I'm probably going to dollar cost average all of the money that I put into my brokerage account into a money market fund, high yield savings account, or CDs, so that it's in a safer place, but also still be able to grow until I need to take out those funds. And I can focus on my more immediate priorities and then really truly ramp up my savings as I get closer to purchasing a home. So that may look like decreasing my retirement account contributions, spending less on travel, and generally decreasing lifestyle until I purchase a home. My fourth and probably second biggest goal is to max out all of my tax advantage retirement accounts. I have a 403b plan with my employer, and my employer matches up to 3.5% if I contribute 6% of my paycheck to this employer-sponsored retirement account, which is free money, which is always appreciated. I also max out my Roth IRA every year. However, I'm not going to contribute it through my income every month, and instead I'm rolling over funds from my 529 plan to max it out every year. Even though I might go to grad school, I should be able to roll over funds from my 529 plan for the next 4 years up to the $35,000 limit and still pay for grad school using that account. Then after I completely take advantage of that, I'm then going to max out my Roth IRA using my income, but hopefully my income will increase by then so that it doesn't really make a difference in my lifestyle. As for my 403b, I only started working full time in July, so with all of my savings goals, I won't be able to max it out for this year, but I'm still contributing an aggressive 40% of my paycheck to my 403b because I won't be able to do any catch-up contributions for this year. But for next year and hopefully for many years to come, I'm going to max out my 403b, and instead of building my budget based on my take-home pay and increasing my contribution if I have any leftover money, I'm going to base my budget around maxing out my 403b. And as for what I'm investing in my retirement accounts, I really keep it simple and only invest in low-cost index funds. So across all of my retirement accounts, I invest 80% in the total US stock market, 10% in the international stock market, and 10% in US bonds. Now as to why I want to max out my retirement accounts while I'm still in my 20s, I truly just want to allow my future self to have financial freedom and security and make my life decisions based on what I love and enjoy instead of my financial situation. So with the power of compound interest, every dollar that I invest now will be worth $66.48 by the time I reach the traditional retirement age of 65. If I aggressively save and invest now, I'm really buying myself choices later. I might be able to work part-time and still be able to fund my lifestyle, take a lower paying job that I love, take a year off of work to travel and spend time with my family, and possibly retire early because my 22-year-old self is taking care of my retirement self. And even though I have this aggressive investing goal, I really don't feel like I'm sacrificing lifestyle to achieve it. A, because I make a pretty good income for my age, and B, I have limited income anyway, and I really want to prioritize spending money on things that I really truly love and decreasing costs for things that I don't care about. My fifth goal is to pay for my wedding completely in cash. Now, I'm not even engaged yet, but my partner and I have been together for about 4 years now and have had serious conversations of getting engaged and eventually getting married. And we really truly want to start our life together on the best financial footing. And to both of us, that means not taking on any debt. We don't have an exact budget set yet, but my guesstimation from the research that I've done, to have good food and good music for ourselves and our friends and family, it would cost about $15,000 to $20,000. Now, looking at that amount kind of makes me nauseous and uncomfortable because I know that all of that money could go to my other financial goals, but my partner and I would like to have a wedding to celebrate our love and the joining of our lives with our friends and family. So since my partner and I will be splitting the costs, the maximum amount that I'll probably have to save is $10,000. So I currently have $400 saved for a future wedding, and for right now, with me saving $200 every month for a wedding, I would have about $7,600 saved. And if we decide to spend more than about $15,000, I will increase the amount that I save. And that money has to come from somewhere. So to achieve this goal, again, we'll probably have to slow down on travel savings once we get closer to and use any extra income to save for our wedding. My sixth goal is a little morbid for someone so young, but I would like to have a proper will and basic estate planning done before I turn 30. Of course, I'm not planning on dying anytime soon, but I want to make sure that my assets go to where I want them to go if something were to happen. So first, I will need a basic will to decide who gets what in the event that I die. So for example, I might want my checking and savings accounts to go to my parents, my car to go to my brother, my investments to go to my partner, and my personal items distributed amongst my family. This isn't exactly what I want to do. Of course, I'll have to put much more thought into this, but it's just an example of what a basic will might look like for me. Then for all of my accounts, I want to designate beneficiaries. I mainly need to do this for my checking and savings accounts because I already have beneficiaries for my investment accounts. And lastly, I want to have a basic power of attorney document, so if I'm ever incapacitated, someone that I trust and knows my desires will make financial and medical decisions for me. Now, I don't have to get this all done right away, but I definitely want it by the time that I get married. Of course, estate planning is not a set it and forget it thing. What I want to do with my assets when I'm 30 will change by the time that I'm 40, 50, 60, and 70, 80, and possibly beyond that. So I need to make sure that every time I hit a life milestone like getting married, purchasing a home, and having kids, that I keep updating this document. But again, even though I'm so young, I want to have some of these things in place now, just in case. My seventh and final goal is kind of just for my ego, which is to become a millionaire by the time I turn 30. Now this is a delusional, silly, fun stretch goal that I'm not taking super seriously, but it would be pretty cool to reach. And even if I fall short and hit only 600,000 or 800,000 by 30, that still sets an incredible financial foundation for my family. And just to be clear, once I get married, this will be my husband and I's net worth. And let's be honest, is this the most realistic and grounded goal? No, but I'm definitely going to try anyway. So right now my net worth is about $89,000, and I just realized that I never asked permission to share my partner Nick's net worth, but I will say how much we need to grow our net worth by, which is over $850,000 in the next 8 years, or over $100,000 every year, or $9,000 every month, which when I put it like that, it really sounds delusional. And so for this to be close to possible, a lot of things will need to go exactly right. Both of our incomes will need to grow. So for me, that might look like working overtime, working a lot of holidays, taking up incentive pay opportunities, or going to graduate school to increase my hourly rate, and maybe focusing more on this little content creation side hustle. And for Nick, his would look more like getting promotions in his career and pursuing graduate school to increase his income earning potential. And for investments, we really need the stock market to be kind to us, probably an average of 8 to 10% in returns annually. And of course, as a partnership, we'd really need to align on all of these goals. And honestly, even just working towards this goal may even be more valuable to us than achieving it, but obviously not in the monetary sense. For example, learning how to manage money as a team, supporting each other's career growth, and celebrating our wins will only make our partnership stronger. So those are the 7 financial goals that I want to hit by the time I turn 30. Now, I know that I say this in a lot of my general financial videos, but I want to address that I'm aware of how incredibly privileged I am to have such aggressive financial goals while I'm in my 20s. I'm currently living at home rent-free. I have a stable job. I don't have any student loans, and I have a lot of family support. Your financial goals might look completely different to mine, and that's not just okay, it's exactly how it should be. Maybe your goals might look like paying off credit card debt, or saving your first $1,000, or even just figuring out how to manage your money. And all of those goals are just as important as mine and are worth celebrating. So I'm planning on doing annual progress updates towards these goals, and I really hope you guys like and subscribe to join me along on this journey. And I would love to hear what money goal that you are most excited about. And as always, thank you for watching this video all the way through. If you did, again, make sure to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye, guys.